Hey, this is Alex here with Yellowstone Digital Media, and I'm just doing a how-to video on a frustrating issue that I've run into twice now. And when I Googled it, I couldn't find any information about it, so I just wanted to publish this out there in case you're having the same issue. So the problem is I'm sending an email or receiving an email, and I'm getting an error. When I send the email, I get an error. It says 550, no such user here. Now, this is a pretty common error. I think it just means that I couldn't find, the email server couldn't find who to send the email to. And so it can happen if you type in the email address the wrong way and a bunch of other ways. But specifically what I'm going to be looking at here is with Bluehost as your web host and using Bluehost email and running into this issue. So the way that I have my emails configured is I've got a Bluehost account, I've got a domain for my website, and I've got emails created through Bluehost in the cPanel. So mine, for example, is alex@yellowstonedigitalmedia.com, and I use that. I have it connected to a Gmail account, which is convenient for me rather than using the Bluehost webmail, and I can send and receive emails through my custom email address while still using Gmail. Now I've got a client who has a domain name, and they're using Microsoft Exchange for their email provider. So all of their emails go through Microsoft. I don't know what service it is exactly, Microsoft 365 or something like that. And so it's a remote mail server completely removed from Bluehost. And that's fine. We'd been able to send emails back and forth fine for, I don't know, probably 6 months or longer, basically since we had a client relationship with them. And then what they wanted to do was they wanted us to build them a website on that domain name, that they're using for their custom email address. And so I got that all connected, set up fine, and what happened was suddenly we weren't able to send emails to each other. I'd run into this issue one time before and went through a long support chat with Bluehost about what was going on. This was with a different client, and they fixed it for me, but they didn't really tell me what it was or how to fix it. So I was on a support chat with Bluehost again today, and they helped me. But I also found a really helpful article that I couldn't find. It was really hard to find, which is why I'm making this video, which kind of shows me how you can do it yourself. So that article, and I'll post a link to this in the description of the video, is here. And if we scroll down, the relevant section is down here in email routing. And so what happens is if you have a Bluehost account, you've got custom emails, and you've got multiple domains on there. If you're sending an email to an email address at a domain assigned to your Bluehost account, it's going to use this local mail exchanger. So what it's going to do is just Bluehost is going to kind of internally send the email. And what was happening in this case is that when it's trying to send it internally, it's not finding that email address I'm sending it to, and I've been emailing back and forth with fine for a long time because they're using Microsoft for their email, not Bluehost. And so what you have to do is go in and do remote mail exchanger. And actually I think what Bluehost does by default is use automatically detect setting, and I think once we assigned that domain name to the Bluehost account, it defaulted to the local mail exchanger because it thinks that that domain is a local domain, and of course it is for the purpose of website hosting, but it's not for the purpose of email routing. So what you have to do is go in and do remote mail exchanger, change that setting, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. I just got to log into my Bluehost account, so I'll pause and come back in a second. Okay, so once you're in your Bluehost, you're logged in, and you go to domains, you'll see all your domains here. We just got to find the one that's relevant. In this case, mine was this MacGyver.ca, and if we check the box here, it'll open up some information on the right. We have to go to DNS zone editor. Now, Bluehost doesn't actually manage the DNS records for this domain name at all, so it has a bunch of information in here that is completely incorrect and not being used. But what we have to go down to is MX Mail Exchanger, and it has some MX records which control emails. And if you go to more here, it pops open this box that basically is like the information that's down here in this help article. And so what we needed to do was change this from automatically detect to remote mail exchanger. So this is if they're using an external email provider, which in this case they are, even though the domain is assigned to my Bluehost account. So once you do that, you pretty much just hit change and you're good to go. So hopefully this saved you a bunch of time and effort. it's been a super frustrating issue for me, which is why I made this video, and just wanted to publish this information out there for anybody else who has this problem. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can contact us on our website. Thanks.